what happens in the locker room should stay there. But some people love drama.
The Los Angeles Lakers are currently in a freefall, a total meltdown that has the entire NBA holding its breath. Insider sources are confirming the unthinkable, a physical altercation between LeBron James and Luka Dončić behind closed doors triggered by a reality LeBron never saw coming. Luka didn't just arrive in Los Angeles, he kicked down the door and snatched the crown right off the king's head. The power dynamic didn't just shift, it snapped. For 6 years, LeBron was the alpha, the law, the absolute ruler of LA. But the second Luka touchdown, the entire franchise realigned its gravity, leaving LeBron spinning in the void. The turning point? A brutal, unscripted moment post-game where general manager Rob Pelinka walked straight past LeBron like he was a ghost. Pelinka didn't even blink, trailing Luka into the tunnel like a man chasing the future. The camera caught the shock in LeBron's eyes, a look of pure disbelief that proved the vibe in Los Angeles is dead and buried. The throne isn't just shaking. It is already occupied by Luka. We are ripping the lid off everything, from that tunnel snub to the explosive locker room brawl. If you are still clinging to the idea that LeBron runs this town, you are living in the past. The energy has mutated. The front office has pushed all their chips to the center of the table, and they are betting the house on Luka. Luka is calling the audibles, demanding the attention, and soaking up the adoration that used to belong exclusively to the king. This isn't some tabloid rumor mill. This is happening live on national television every single night. Look at the tape. Luka is dropping triple doubles, draining impossible shots, and looking like the savior while the spotlight shifts away from the old guard. Sure, LeBron is still filling the stat sheet, but let's cut the bull. There is a new sheriff patrolling these streets. The blueprint is undeniable. The Lakers are erecting a monument to Luka while the foundation crumbles beneath LeBron's feet. Scroll the timeline. It is Luka's daggers, Luka's screams, Luka's viral moments dominating the feed, and LeBron? His presence is fading, his posts becoming scarce, almost like he is being erased in real time. Even the legends, the titans LeBron used to look up to, are anointing Luka as the face of the next dynasty. LeBron knew the kid was coming for the torch eventually, but nobody expected the takeover to be this rapid or this violent. Luka isn't just a star, he is the devastating reality of the next decade, the singular reason the Lakers are daring to dream again. And for the first time in 20 years, LeBron James looks around the room and realizes he is the outsider. This is the guy who left Cleveland in 2010 specifically to grip the steering wheel of his own fate. Now, that control is dissolving like smoke, with every eye in the arena locked onto Luka. The powder keg finally detonated following the blockbuster trade that sent shockwaves through the league's spine. When the news dropped, Luka to LA for Anthony Davis, and assets the internet absolutely melted down. It was the blind side of the century, a prime all-NBA assassin abandoning Dallas for the bright lights of Los Angeles. The ink wasn't even dry before hysteria gripped the entire basketball ecosystem. Pundits screamed, players panicked, and analysts dubbed it the most ruthless power move in the history of the sport. Even Luka was rattled, admitting the news hit him like a hallucination, a prank that went way too deep. He went to sleep a Dallas icon and woke up as the savior of the purple and gold. LA didn't just welcome him, they worshipped him instantly as the chosen one sent to resurrect the dynasty. Sure, losing A, D, stings, but trading a big man for a generational talent in his prime, that is a no-brainer. We are talking about locking down the next 10, 15 years of dominance. This trade was a masterstroke. Stepping into that first press conference, the electricity was palpable, a heavy signal that the guard had officially changed. Every lens, every microphone was magnetized to Luka, broadcasting a message loud and clear. The Lakers have a new identity, and while LeBron is still in the picture, he is no longer the frame. That reality is the cancer eating away at the locker room, especially with Rob Pelinka barely hiding his giddy excitement. Management was practically glowing, with Pelinka publicly crowning Luka as the absolute centerpiece of the franchise. It felt like they had boxed up the LeBron era, taped it shut, and tossed it into the dumpster without a second thought. Check the timeline, though it is too precise, too calculated, and frankly, ice cold. Right as the trade shook the world, LeBron was sidelined, battling a nagging lower leg injury that kept him in street clothes. You can call it tragic misfortune, or you can call it a ruthless changing of the guard by design. While the king was limping in the shadows, the organization was rolling out the red carpet for their shiny new deity, and LeBron's silence screamed volumes. At first, he brushed it off, a cynical laugh, a shake of the head, swearing the trade rumors were garbage and refusing to believe Anthony Davis was actually gone. He later admitted the reality didn't snap into focus until the moment he saw Luka standing there, draped in Lakers gold on media day. Yeah, he paid his respects. I was out at dinner with the family, phone blows up, and I'm thinking, no way, this is fake news. Straight up hoax. Just the internet playing games, you know? He claimed he was cool with the concept of another superstar sharing the floor, but he never saw the blind side coming how fast the organization would turn its back on him. In a heartbeat. The narrative shattered. What looked like a Dallas shakeup morphed into a total Lakers revolution. The entire sports world snapped its neck toward Los Angeles. The fan base absolutely lost its mind. Management sent a crystal clear message. The future is Luka. And LeBron, the man who built this era, suddenly he looked like yesterday's news in his own building. And that is exactly where the wheels start coming off. Because the second Luka touchdown in LA, this stopped being a trade. It became a hostile takeover. The energy in that locker room shifted violent and fast. Insiders are leaking that the vibes didn't just get weird, they turned toxic. Lakers insider Jovan Buha dropped the atomic bomb, reporting that folks inside the building were panicking, claiming confusion was spreading, and nobody knew who was actually steering the ship. To grasp the magnitude of this betrayal, you have to dissect the history of the king. This is a man who pulls every single string. Cleveland, Miami, LA. LeBron's legacy is built on total dominance. The roster, the clipboard, the headlines. Rewind the tape to Cleveland. First run, he scorched the earth because they couldn't build a contender. When he returned in 2014, the rules changed completely. Kevin Love was shipped in instantly because LeBron snapped his fingers. When Coach David Blatt didn't fit the vision, fired mid-season while sitting in first place, his guy, Tyronn Lue, took the headset the very next morning. Even the contracts were weapons. Those 1+1 deals were designed to keep a gun to the front office's head. That iron grip followed him west. The GM wasn't a joke. It was the reality. LeBron constructed the Lakers in his image. He forced the AD trade, demanded veteran star power, and let's be real, Bronny's path to the league was paved by his father's massive shadow. Every transaction, every season, every narrative arc, LeBron was the puppet master. Until this very moment. Because when Luka walked through those doors, the atmosphere didn't just change. It curdled. The Lakers didn't just start ignoring LeBron. They rolled out the red carpet for Luka like he was the new messiah. Closed door meetings, Luka's there. Coaching strategy, Luka's speaking up. Every dap up, every photo op, every ounce of reverence usually reserved for the king was suddenly being funneled directly to the Slovenian wonder boy. The pivot was so aggressive, even the guys suiting up next to them were left speechless. And the pressure cooker finally blew. Reports hit the wire that LeBron got in Luka's face, demanding to know who was actually running this squad. Voices cracked, lines were drawn in the sand, and sources say it was seconds away from getting physical. They tried to bury the beef, but the cameras don't lie. During a timeout, LeBron daps up a teammate and leaves Luka hanging cold as ice, standing right next to him. The lenses caught the snub, the internet exploded, and the veil was lifted. This isn't friendly rivalry. This isn't a locker room disagreement. This is a full-scale war for the crown. LeBron has been the alpha everywhere he's stepped foot. The general, the closer, the boss. But now, he's staring down a predator who challenges his dominance organically. Not with politics, not with PR stunts, but with pure, unadulterated basketball magic. Luka doesn't need to ask for the throne. His game takes it. And that specific reality is eating LeBron James alive. The youth, the media obsession, the shiny new toy syndrome, it's chipping away at the empire. LeBron spent 20 years constructing. The whispers are turning into shouts. The unthinkable question, is this LeBron's team anymore, or has Luka Dončić quietly stolen the keys to the kingdom? This isn't some forum conspiracy. This is a regime change happening live on national television. And in the modern N, Bachelor of Arts, where clout is currency, the cracks in LeBron's armor are becoming impossible to hide. If you thought the blockbuster trade was insanity, just wait until you see how the locker room culture has completely flipped its allegiance. The hype around Luka is nuclear, and it's turning the friction between him and LeBron into a ticking time bomb. We haven't seen an ego clash like this in decades. Hollywood scriptwriters couldn't dream up this level of tension. Ever since Luka touched down in LA, everyone from the rookies to the vets is falling in line behind the new face of the franchise. Look at Austin Reeves. After a massive W, he dropped a quote that left everyone floored. The kid rarely speaks out like that, but he looked the camera in the eye and called Luka one of the greatest to ever lace them up. He didn't just compliment the leadership, he crowned him, praising the way Luka walks into a room and instantly elevates every single soul around him. Then he dropped the line that stopped the presses, the one that tells you everything you need to know. Luka is the one we ride with. That isn't just respect, that is absolute undying loyalty. This kid has a fire in his eyes. He wants to go out there and dominate, not just play. So when you drop a weapon like that into your lineup, a guy whose skill level is off the charts, he doesn't just play the game, he manipulates it, making everything look terrifyingly easy for everyone else. But the shockwaves don't stop there. The legends, the absolute icons LeBron grew up worshiping, they are all bowing down to the new king in town. Even Allen Iverson, a man who never faked a moment in his life, grabbed a mic on a podcast and gave Luka the kind of props that make careers. The question was simple but heavy. Who in the league right now reminds you of yourself? Everyone expected him to say Ja, but I looked dead at the camera and asked, what the hell is wrong with Luka? That is the kind of reverence the answer does not give away for free. When you hear that from a cultural icon like Iverson, that is the ultimate stamp of approval, a certification of greatness in this brutal game. Then Kevin Garnett stepped into the ring, and his words drew blood. KG said, Luka joining the Lakers isn't just a trade. It is a lifeline that might buy LeBron James 3 more years of relevance. He broke it down cold. What does Luka do for Bron? Man, listen, this move just bought Bron 3 more years of basketball life. You know what Bron can do now? And exactly what he used to beg AD to do. KG basically said, go ahead, big fella. Take the wheel. He told the world, watch out. What Luka is about to do is going to impact the history books. Let's translate that for the people in the back. Even with the rumors of tension and the clash of massive egos, Luka's presence is the only thing saving the Kings' final act from tragedy. Garnett's point was cold, sharp, and undeniably true. The power struggle might sting the ego, but Luka's arrival is keeping the Lakers relevant and giving LeBron a soft landing before the twilight of his career fades to black. But here's the crazy part. Luka didn't just steal the fans' hearts. He is completely reprogramming the Lakers' entire DNA. The team didn't just get better, they mutated. They transformed overnight. Before Luka walked through that door, the Lakers' attack was passable, maybe even decent, but it lacked that killer instinct. The second he stepped on the floor, the math broke. According to the tracking data, their three-point attempt rate surged from 34.3, it skyrocketed to 42.3 per 100 possessions, launching them from the basement straight into the top 3 in the N Bachelor of Arts. That is not a coincidence. That is Luka magic. His mere presence stretches defenses until they snap, carving out lanes, freeing up shooters, and giving role players acres of room to cook. Every single time the defense collapses in panic, he finds the open man with surgical precision. The Lakers' offensive rating climbed to a staggering 116.1 with him on the court. Suddenly, they are a top 7 offense, terrifying the rest of the league. And don't call it luck. This is a system now built entirely around Luka's brilliance. And individually, Luka is already rewriting the Lakers' history books. In his first showdown against his old squad, the Dallas Mavericks. Just weeks after the blockbuster trade, the tension was thick enough to choke on. He didn't just play, he dissected them. 19 points, 15 rebounds, and 12 assists for a triple-double. That wasn't just a stat line. It was a cold-blooded message sent straight to his former franchise. You didn't just lose a player, you lost your soul. That was career triple-double number 81 for Luka, and his first in the purple and gold. You could practically feel the regret radiating all the way from Dallas. Since that night, he has been a one-man wrecking crew, averaging around 27 to 28 points, 8.2 boards, and 7.5 dimes a game. Numbers that scream franchise savior. And remember, he is doing all of this while still learning a new system, clicking with new teammates, and handling the blinding glare of the Hollywood spotlight. Those stats aren't just impressive, they are transformative. They change the entire landscape of the Western Conference. And the ripple effect? It is massive, because Luka commands total respect. Guys like Austin Reeves and Jackson Hayes are suddenly looking like all-stars. The Lakers' pick-and-roll game with Luka running the show jumped from 0.92 to an elite 1.18 points per possession after February 2025. That is elite-level efficiency, the kind of drastic improvement that turns a borderline playoff team into a legitimate title contender overnight. So yeah, the power dynamic isn't just changing, it is statistically shifting beneath our feet. Luka isn't just the new kid in town, he is the one rewriting the entire playbook. And LeBron James, for the first time in his legendary career, he is realizing what it feels like to live in someone else's massive shadow. Players who looked average last season are suddenly shining like stars. And the question is, can LeBron handle not being the sun? It is no coincidence. Defenses can't collapse the paint like they used to because Luka Dončić has completely reprogrammed how this offense operates. Gone are those slow, predictable isolation sets that revolved around LeBron's methodical, aging pace. Now, the team plays with lethal rhythm, blistering speed, and absolute precision. The floor is spaced, the execution is sharp as a razor, and the energy is off the charts. That shift didn't happen by accident. It forced the entire Lakers front office and coaching staff to bend the knee and rebuild their system around Luka. As one insider put it, this wasn't just a trade. It was an operating system reboot. And it is the truth. The Lakers didn't just swap stars, they swapped identities. Let's be brutally real here. The franchise could not keep staking its future on a 41-year-old legend whose best days are in the rearview mirror. They needed a fresh face, a killer to carry them into the next decade, and make no mistake, Luka is that guy. He has the youth, the lethal skill set, and a fire that just won't burn out. At 26 years old, he is putting up video game numbers and somehow getting scarier every single season. The front office saw what the rest of the world was waking up to. Luka isn't some quick fix or a desperate rental to save a season. He is the blueprint. With him, the Lakers haven't just reloaded the clip. They have completely redefined what their future looks like. So let's be real, this wasn't just a blockbuster trade. This was the opening bell of the Luka era, loud and clear. The Lakers are done being a franchise. Terrified of LeBron's back giving out, they are pouring concrete for a brand new legacy. A legacy that flows effortlessly, where the system doesn't crash if the king takes a breath. With Luka at the wheel, this engine is humming fast, modern, and absolutely ruthless. And folks, when you line the analytics up side by side, it is not even a debate who is running the show in Los Angeles right now. Luka commands a staggering 33.8% usage rate. Do you understand how massive that is? That is basically 1 out of every 3 Lakers possessions running directly through his hands. Meanwhile, LeBron's usage has plummeted to 28.8%. That is a 5% drop, proving without a shadow of a doubt that the offense has divorced itself from the king. The ball belongs to Luka, and the scoreboard tells the story. He is averaging 28.2 points, 8.1 rebounds, and 7.5 assists in roughly 35 minutes a night, all while maintaining elite efficiency with defenses draped all over him. Then you look at LeBron, who is putting up 24.4 points, 7.8 rebounds, and 8.2 assists. Listen, those are solid numbers, Hall of Fame numbers for anyone else, but they do not carry the same gravity anymore. Luka's presence elevates every single jersey on that floor, while LeBron's game is finally starting to show the cracks of Father Time. But wait, because here is where the drama really hits the fan. It is not just the buckets or the assists, it is the silent, cold-blooded moves happening when the cameras turn away. You remember that tunnel incident we broke down earlier? Rob Pelinka walking right past LeBron James, ignoring him to chase down Luka after the buzzer? That wasn't an accident. That was a statement. That was a power play on national television. It was the GM's quiet, brutal way of saying, this is our guy now. LeBron felt that chill. Every soul in that arena felt it. And why does a split-second moment like that matter so much? Because the Lakers franchise has a ruthless history of tipping their hand once they pick the chosen one. When Magic Johnson rose up, the organization bent the world to fit him. When Shaq arrived, the entire universe revolved around his sheer dominance. When Kobe Bryant took the mantle, the marketing, the roster, the narrative, everything shifted to feed the Mamba. And right now, that torch is being ripped away and handed to Luka Dončić. The writing is on the wall. Reports are leaking that Luka is meeting with Pelinka more than any other player, dissecting rotations, strategy, and roster moves. The marketing machine has already pivoted, pushing him into the spotlight in ways that make you double take. Billboards, promo spots, the tone of the team's social media, it's all changed. Season ticket drives are plastered with Luka's face, not LeBron's. Insiders aren't even whispering anymore. They are shouting it. The Lakers have officially entered the post-LeBron timeline. Management is drawing up the blueprints for the next decade with Luka as the cornerstone. Pelinka essentially admitted in a recent interview that they are building around Luka for the next 10 years. That is not speculation, folks. That is confirmation from the top of the food chain. I cannot think of a more terrifyingly perfect starting point to build a dynasty for the next 10 years. And so the million-dollar question explodes. What did LeBron expect? Did he think he would stay the alpha dog forever? Did he think the franchise would keep orbiting around him even as the clock ticked down? For years, he called the shots, he built the rosters, he dictated the future, but now the tide has turned violently, and he is struggling to swallow that pill. That is where the tension boils over, because LeBron is not going gently into that good night. Sources say he is fighting tooth and nail to reclaim control behind closed doors, and you can see the friction spilling out during the games. Some nights he hijacks the offense, forcing the ball to stick in his hands instead of letting Luka orchestrate the flow. You see plays that are designed for Luka stall out because LeBron is trying to remind the world that he is still LeBron James. But those moments, they are revealing. They show a king who feels the throne slipping and a young conqueror who did not come here to wait in line. The Lakers are no longer LeBron's kingdom. This is Luka's empire now. And the whole sports world is glued to the screen watching this power struggle detonate. Even in interviews, LeBron can't hide the bitterness anymore. Those subtle, passive-aggressive jabs keep slipping out. He talks about experience and knowing how to lead, clearly throwing shade at Luka without daring to say his name. We all see it for what it is. It is performative leadership. It is LeBron trying to convince the room he is still the vet, still the voice, still the genius. But deep down, he knows the leverage is gone. The phrase that keeps coming up, he's a front runner. When he thinks the squad is elite and he smells a ring, he turns on that championship leadership like it's 2019 all over again. But when he doesn't, that is when the passive-aggressive energy takes over and he checks out. And honestly, the media is not cutting him any slack. The second the Luka trade became official, every major sports network and podcast went into absolute overdrive. NBA analysts, legends of the game, talking heads, they all flipped the script overnight and the narrative is out of LeBron's hands. Forget about team chemistry or whether the roster fits, that conversation is dead. The real question exploding across the NBA isn't about playoff seeds, it's about a hostile takeover. Is Luka Dončić now the undisputed face of the entire league? Watch the footage. On any given night, the separation between Luka and LeBron is becoming impossible to ignore. We aren't just watching a teammate, we are watching Luka play like the absolute best player on the planet, leaving the king in his shadow. And then Paul Pierce grabbed the microphone and dropped a truth bomb that sent shockwaves through the sports world. He didn't mince words. He said the Lakers are bringing Luka in to let LeBron groom him to take over the franchise. That wasn't just analysis. That was a dagger to the heart of LeBron's legacy. Just picture it. LeBron James, sitting at home, staring at that clip, realizing a Celtics legend, just said the quiet part out loud. The disrespect, it is off the charts. Even ESPN is calling this the wildest power move we have seen in a decade, claiming it eclipses the formation of the Big Three era, the very era LeBron built his entire empire on. The irony here is absolutely brutal. You have top analysts openly debating if the greatest of all time has been reduced to a bridge player, a temporary mentor just keeping the seat warm until Luka completely seizes the throne. And if you think the media is harsh, social media is a bloodbath. It is ruthless. The memes are savage. You see Luka carrying LeBron on his back. Fan edits showing the king fading into the background like a ghost while Luka stands center stage in the spotlight. Listen to the crowd. The chants in the arena tell the whole tragic story. Luka! Luka! Is echoing through the rafters of the Staples Center, drowning out everything else. It feels like a hostile takeover broadcast live on every talk show and player interview. It is all Luka, all the time. Reporters aren't asking about the King's longevity anymore. They are obsessing over Luka's global appeal, his skyrocketing merchandise numbers, and ticket demand. The entire future of the Lakers brand is now orbiting around one man. Meanwhile, LeBron James, the man who once monopolized every single headline in sports, barely gets a mention in his own city. The narrative has officially flipped. The headline isn't LeBron saving the day anymore. It is Luka owning the night. And here is where this story goes completely off the rails. Because this media storm didn't just hit the locker room, it detonated right in the middle of the fan base. Laker Nation is fractured. It is split down the middle, and it is getting ugly. Go scroll through the comment sections, check Twitter, or just stand outside Crypto.com arena. It is absolute chaos out there. Fans are arguing in the streets like it is a bitter family feud, picking sides in a civil war. You have the Gen Z crowd, the younger generation, completely pushing all their chips in on Luka. They are flooding the internet with highlight edits, breaking down every possession, posting Luka's insane step backs and one-legged fadeaways with captions screaming, "The future of LA has arrived." They are addicted to the flair, the swagger, the impossible passes. To them, Luka isn't just a superstar teammate. He is the new heartbeat of Los Angeles. He is the adrenaline shot, bringing the excitement back, the only show in town worth the price of admission. But what is truly wild, even the old school heads, the diehards who lived through Magic, Shaq, and Kobe, are starting to drift toward the Slovenian sensation. They see a ghost of the golden days in his game. The raw arrogance, the killer instinct, that burning fire to destroy opponents every single night. They have seen this movie play out before. They watched the torch pass from Magic to Kobe. And now, decades later, they are watching it pass from LeBron to Luka. That is dangerous territory for the king, because once the fans crown a new hero, the organization always follows suit. Magic had his army. Shaq had his battalion. Kobe had a legion. And now Luka is building an empire. A fan base that rides for him against anyone, even LeBron. And it is built on cold, hard performance. Not just marketing hype. Put the pieces together. The front office's subtle signals, the media frenzy, and now the fans literally choosing sides in the stands. It is obvious why LeBron looks frustrated. He isn't just fighting Luka for the final shot or more touches. He is fighting a war against the entire city of Los Angeles. And let me tell you, that is a war no superstar can win. We are at the moment of truth. It is the question everyone is whispering but is too afraid to scream. Is the LeBron era officially dead and buried? Has Luka already snatched the crown simply by being younger, faster, and flat out better right now? Because look at the signs from the marketing campaigns to the rotation minutes, everything screams that the Lakers have already turned the page. The league cannot ignore the reality anymore. Luka isn't coming soon. He is here. He is the now. LeBron's legacy is etched in stone, but the present, that belongs to someone else. Los Angeles has made its choice, and the torch hasn't just been passed, it has been snatched. So, I have to ask you, whose side are you on? Are you riding with Team LeBron or Team Luka? Sound off in the comments and let the debate begin. Smash that like button, share this with your crew, and do not forget to subscribe for more high-stakes NBA drama and deep dives. I will catch you on the next one.